Let's talk about something so many of us deal with, but maybe don't always say out loud, our gut. You can think of it like the engine room of your entire body. And, well, when that engine isn't running right, you feel it everywhere.
So, does any of this sound familiar? Feeling tired all the time, no matter how much you sleep? Or that awful gas, acidity, or bloating that just seems to show up after you eat? Yeah, if you're nodding along, you are definitely not alone. These are all classic signs your gut is trying to tell you something. But here's the really good news. You don't have to just put up with it. The root of the problem is very often your gut health. So in the next few minutes, we're going to break it all down. What's causing the trouble, and most importantly, what you can actually do to fix it. Okay, so first things first, what are we even talking about when we say gut health? Because believe me, it is so much more than just your stomach. It really all comes down to this thing called the gut microbiome. Just picture a huge, bustling city living inside your digestive system with trillions of tiny residents, mostly bacteria. Now, when the good bacteria are running the show, everything's great. Your digestion is smooth, your immune system is strong, but if that balance gets thrown off, well, that's where the problems begin. So what exactly knocks that delicate city out of balance? Let's take a look at some of the main reasons why your gut might be so unhappy. When we look at a really serious issue like stomach ulcers, the science is crystal clear. And what's wild is how one single cause just dominates the chart. A whopping 80% of ulcers are caused by a specific bacteria called H. pylori. Then you've got another 15% coming from long-term use of common painkillers, like ibuprofen or aspirin. And it's not just ulcers. There's a whole bunch of other lifestyle stuff that can mess with our gut's balance. Diets full of processed, sugary foods, that's like fast food for the bad bacteria. Chronic stress, smoking, too much alcohol, they can all damage the lining of your gut. Oh, and antibiotics? They can be lifesavers, for sure, but using them too often can wipe out all the good guys along with the bad. All right, enough about the problems. Let's get to the good stuff, the solutions. And we're going to start with what you put on your plate. Think of this as your ultimate grocery list for a happy, healthy gut. The idea here is actually pretty simple. On one side, you've got the gut healers, foods packed with fiber, fermented goodies, and stuff that fights inflammation. And on the other side, well, you've got the gut harmers. We're talking ultra-processed foods, tons of sugar, and fried stuff that just fuels inflammation and feeds the wrong crowd in your gut. To make this super practical, we're going to count down the top 5 types of food that can really start the healing process. Let's kick it off with number 5. Number 5 is all about probiotics. Think of these as bringing in reinforcements, fresh troops of good bacteria for your gut city. You're literally introducing live, helpful organisms to restore order. We're talking things like yogurt, make sure it has live cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and miso. Okay, so you've got your new troops on the ground. What now? Well, they need to eat, which brings us to number 4. High fiber foods. And this is so important. Fiber isn't just about, keeping things moving. It's the main food source for all those good bacteria you just added. So loading up on leafy greens, beans, lentils, oats, and fruits keeps your tiny allies strong and happy. Next up at number 3, it's not just about what you eat. What you drink can play a massive role in calming things down and helping your gut repair itself. Let's talk about soothing drinks. Bone broth, for example, is full of collagen, which is amazing for repairing the gut lining. Ginger tea is a classic for easing nausea. Peppermint and chamomile are super calming. And green tea is packed with these powerful anti-inflammatory compounds called polyphenols. All right, coming in at number 2. We've talked about fiber as the everyday meal for your good bacteria. Now, let's talk about their absolute favorite superfood. Prebiotic foods. Now, don't get these mixed up with probiotics. If probiotics are the soldiers, prebiotics are their special rations. This is the stuff that specifically fuels the good guys, helping them thrive. And you can find them in everyday foods like garlic, onions, leeks, asparagus, and even bananas. And finally, our number 1 food group. This one is all about actively fighting the inflammation that's at the heart of so many gut issues. And that is omega-3 rich foods. These healthy fats are like the firefighters for your gut. They're powerful anti-inflammatories. So getting more fatty fish like salmon or plant-based sources like chia seeds, flax seeds, and walnuts is absolutely key to calming everything down. Now, of course, healing your gut isn't just about adding good stuff in. It's just as much about taking the bad stuff out. So let's talk about what we should probably be leaving on the shelf. This list probably isn't going to shock you. Ultra-processed foods and artificial sweeteners can really disrupt your microbiome. Sugary snacks, that's just feeding the bad bacteria. And things like white bread, fried foods, and too much alcohol all contribute to inflammation and can really irritate the gut lining. But listen, it's not all about food. And it's super important to remember that this process takes time. You got to think of it as a marathon, not a sprint. Here are 3 other huge game changers. Number 1, manage your stress. Chronic stress absolutely wreaks havoc on your gut. Why? Because your brain and gut are constantly talking. A stressed brain equals a stressed gut. So things like meditation or yoga are huge. 2, get moving. Regular exercise is great for digestion. And 3, it's a no-brainer, but avoid things that directly harm your gut, like smoking and too much alcohol. So how long does this all take? Let's be realistic. You could start to feel some relief in just a few weeks, which is awesome. But to make real, lasting changes to your microbiome, you're looking at several months of being consistent. And for really severe issues, it might take 6 months or even longer to get everything back on track. Okay, and this last part is incredibly important. All of these lifestyle changes are powerful, but they are not, I repeat, not a substitute for professional medical advice. You have to know when it's time to see a doctor. These here are the red flags. If you experience any of these things, like losing weight without trying, seeing blood in your stool, or having severe, constant pain, please go see a doctor right away. It's so important to rule out anything more serious. So when you boil it all down, it comes to this. Your gut is constantly sending you messages about your mood, your energy, your health. The real question is, are you listening?